Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. This episode is brought to you by Kalshi. Use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. I'm Dave Gasper. Brewers get shut out on Tuesday night against the New York Mets. First shutout for them since June 3rd. It's been a while, but struggles there offensively against a rookie pitcher, Zach Thornton. We got to talk about some injury updates as well for the Brewers. And some draft signings. The Brewers made a couple more of them official on Tuesday, so we'll talk about that as we kind of get close to wrapping up this Mets series here. But tough one for the Brewers. They had a couple of hard hit balls against Thornton, but weren't able to get anything to land. They had a big opportunity in the first. 2 runners on, 1 out, and then Andrew Vaughn hits into a double play. Next thing you know, Thornton retires the side in the next 4 innings. The Brewers run themselves out of a threat there in the 6th inning. Tough one. Cooper Pratt kind of sort of got going. Then he stopped. Couldn't see that the ball got far enough away. Joey Ortiz was already basically at second base. So they kind of throw down. Cooper Pratt had kind of nowhere to go. Had to run to third. Dead duck. No chance. And then Joey didn't even make it to second base. He ran all the way back to first. And didn't keep on going. So it was just a whole mess over there. Just one of those days. Things did not go well for the Brewers. A home run in the 2nd inning off Brandon Sproat by the Mets. They put up a couple of runs in the middle innings, and then a mammoth blast from Luis Roberts made it 4-0, and that was the final score there. But Brandon Sproat did not super great. He allowed 4 walks. He was very inefficient. 99 pitches through 4 2/3. Couldn't quite get through 5. Got the first 2 out in the 5th. And then he walked Bo Bichette on the 99th pitch of the game. And Pat Murphy had seen enough at that point. He turned it over to Chad Patrick after that, and then you end up getting a run through, 2 runs through after that. 1 charge to Sproat, 1 charge to Patrick. But look, he just didn't have his best stuff there. Wasn't able to locate the way that he wanted to. Look, he goes nearly 5 innings. Goes 4 2/3. Gives up just 2 runs. And, he exited with just 1 run allowed and basically 100 pitches. It was a classic vintage Freddie Peralta start. Essentially. I mean, you traded Freddie Peralta for Brandon Sproat. Brandon Sproat is just Freddie Peralta, but younger at the way this is going. He gets into trouble with the pitch counts quite a bit. 28 pitch first inning, despite not allowing anything to score. I mean, it just reminds you so much of Freddie and just what his starts were. So that's just kind of really what this game kind of was. It was a tough one. Brandon Sproat not having the best night. Bryce Wilson covered 4 innings, really to kind of save the rest of the bullpen there. That was maybe the highlight from that group. I mean, he did allow a mammoth home run to Luis Robert. I mean, 451. I mean, he hit that basically to Lake Michigan. I mean, that was nearly out of the ballpark on a fly if it wasn't for a fan that caught it in the Miller Lite landing. I mean, just an impressive home run. You could just tell from the crack of the bat. That thing was tattooed. But gave up some traffic, 7 hits in those 4 innings. But again, just a 1 run on the board. And he made it through those 4, saves the rest of the bullpen. And that's really kind of the most important part of Bryce Wilson's job. See, he's kind of taken over that Jake Woodford role, and where you're just kind of the mop-up guy there to eat up innings. But when Jake Woodford was in that role, he'd go those 4 innings and give up like 6 runs, versus giving up just 1. So that's kind of where the difference is. But again, that's not really much of a positive takeaway. I'm trying my best here. There really wasn't much from that game. But also, in terms of things to maybe positively take away, we got injury updates. Okay, injuries, not positive, not good, but some of these updates are for the Brewers because they need to get some of these guys back. And for the injury updates, David Hamilton, perhaps chief among them, he is starting his rehab assignment for AAA Nashville. So he played. He went 5 innings in the game for Nashville on Tuesday night. They're taking on Sugarland, the Sugarland Skeeters. Actually, no, Space Cowboys. They used to be the Sugarland Skeeters. Now they're the Space Cowboys. Perhaps Maurice. I don't know. But either way, David Hamilton is there. They're hoping to get him back pretty soon. Just playing in a handful of games for Nashville. So that's the big update there. DL Hall had his rehab assignment get started. He initially pitched 1 inning for the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers the other day. Now he is moving it to AAA Nashville. And DL Hall is scheduled for 2 ups, 2 innings today on Wednesday for AAA Nashville. So he's still targeting a late July, early August return. But DL Hall looking to get back, and he's not getting fully stretched out to 5 innings or whatever, being a reliever. Just kind of trying to get those 2 innings, maybe 3 for him to get stretched out. That's what you need for DL Hall before you can get him back from the injured list here. Kyle Harrison. It's going to be a little bit longer before they get him back. He was thinking maybe like a minimum stint, but it's looking to be a bit longer than that. A 4-up, 4-inning live BP is scheduled for Kyle Harrison on Saturday. And then after that, he is going to go on a rehab assignment, tentatively scheduled for July 31st. That is going to end up then happening. So it's going to be an early August return for Kyle Harrison, is what the Brewers are projecting. Also, Joel Kuhnel threw his first bullpen on Tuesday, so he's kind of working his way back. Again, late July, early August, potential return for Kuhnel. Brandon Lockridge, been waiting on his return for quite a bit after he slammed his knee into the corner of the concrete wall out there in left field. Obviously, he had to have that kind of cleanup procedure a couple of weeks ago. But Brandon Lockridge today is flying out to join AAA Nashville. He's flying out to Sugarland, and he's going to join the team there. He's going to start playing in his rehab assignment on Thursday. So Brandon Lockridge, hopefully on the verge of returning here to the big league roster, estimated to return again late July, early August. But given how long he's been out, they may want to give him a few more at bats there in AAA Nashville before bringing him back. Brandon Woodruff, we kind of know he's undergoing surgery. That is now scheduled for August with Dr. Eric Bowman. Not Dr. Keith Meister, who did the first surgery. Different doctor, but surgery will be in August for Brandon Woodruff. Rob Z taken off his rehab assignment with recurring symptoms on his upper trap strain. So that is unfortunate. Rob Z just has not been able to be healthy all season there. And then also Sal Frelick, no official update yet. They got an arthrogram, whatever that is. They got an arthrogram on Tuesday to establish a diagnosis and plan of care, return to play kind of stuff. So based on what Pat Murphy was kind of talking about, it wasn't anything like super like big or anything like that. But they have not yet formally announced what all that is for Sal Frelick. But that is something that we're still kind of waiting on in terms of injury results there. So those are the updates that we have on the injured Brewers players. Bunch of guys going out on rehab assignment and should be rejoining the big league club here fairly soon, which would be nice. The Brewers would love to have them back and be at full strength here so that they can keep on trying to win games. And you can trade every single game on Kalshi throughout the season. And the Brewers have a finale here against the New York Mets in this game. Logan Henderson getting the start. Can Logan Henderson go more than 5 innings? I think there's a pretty good chance that he will, especially when you have to have, use Chad Patrick. It was only a third of an inning, but still. Then you use Bryce Wilson for 4 innings. He's going to be down, so you're going to be down at least one guy there in the bullpen. Going to want to get a little bit more here out of your starter in this one because, look, Jacob Mizorowski went 4 innings. Brandon Sproat went 4 2/3. You need more from your starting pitchers here in this series. So I think Pat Murphy's going to look to get more, and Logan Henderson is going to give it to him. So Logan Henderson at more than 15.5 outs in this game is currently trading at 40% on Kalshi, which means a $100 trade pays out $234 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use this promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10, KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on anything. All right. The Brewers have also announced several more draft pick signings. The deadline is coming up on the 27th to get all of these done. The Brewers have announced another handful more, 5 more signings here for the Crew. And big headliners here, Sawyer Strasnider, he ended up signing, and he signs for $2.1 million. So that is well above slot. Slot value for 66 overall was 1.35 million. So you got quite a bit over slot there on Sawyer Strasnider. Trey Ebel signed for 2.8 million the other day, which was well under slot. So you kind of balance it out over with those two guys over and under. But Sawyer Strasnider expected to be picked much earlier. So the Brewers, he falls into their laps there in the second round, but they still are going to have to pay up a little bit more in order to get him. But they get Sawyer Strasnider in the organization here. And Julian Garcia, the right-handed pitcher, high school pitcher from St. John Bosco High School, he signs for $1.5 million. Now, I knew this kid was going to be over slot. His slot value was $585,000. So, I mean, you're going about $1 million over slot here for Julian Garcia. That eats up quite a bit of the underslot savings that the Brewers had built up with some of their other selections. But you get a guy in the organization that is going to be great for the pitching lab. He's got the spin rates, he's got the velo. I mean, he is a perfect Brewers projectable right-handed pitcher that they have loved to grab in the past several years. So they got Julian Garcia signed. And then you got a couple of the guys in the rounds 11 through 20 range. You got the 11th round pick, Gavin Perry. He has signed. 17th rounder, Chance Ruby, the shortstop out of Wilmot Union High School. He has officially signed. We saw reports of that a couple of days prior, but now it is official. Also, you have 19th round pick Sam George, left-handed pitcher out of Minnesota State Mankato. He has signed as well. And then also your 20th round pick, Karsten Sabathia III, CC's kid. He has signed as well. College senior, figured he would, but he is now officially a member of the Brewers organization. So you get 6 more draft picks here that have signed on top of the 5 that they signed previously. So you're looking pretty good right now in terms of getting all these guys in the organization. The highest drafted player that the Brewers have not yet signed is Aiden Knack in the 5th round. And then you have Grant Hill in the 7th. Those are your only 2 players left in the top 10 that have not yet officially signed. But there still those I still would expect to happen. And then you're looking from the rest of your group there in that 12 to 16 range, seeing if you can get those guys to sign. Those are all high schoolers, actually, except for the 12th rounder, Marcus Cruzon out of Minnesota. But your 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th rounder, your 18th rounder, Brady Smith, who is signing. But of that group, that's really kind of who you got left, and how much money do you have left over to sign those guys. That's what it's ultimately going to come down to. And this Brewers Mets series is going to come down to today. Logan Henderson on the mound for the Brewers, starting in this rubber match. And the Brewers going to need the best that they can get out of him because, again, as we kind of talked about, they have not gotten length from their starters in this series. And now Mizorowski was by design. Brandon Sproat was not. But still, you're going to need some length there from Logan Henderson going up against Christian Scott, going to be starting for the New York Mets. So there's going to be some, there's going to be a lot on the line here, trying to get the series win, trying to keep that momentum going because, yes, you had that 4-game winning streak coming out of the break, but you end up getting shut out on Tuesday night. Then if you lose the rubber match, it's like, okay, well, now you just lost the series. And you lose 2 out of 3 there. That's a little bit different. So Logan Henderson getting the start Very important game here for the Brewers. Try and keep that momentum going, and again, try and stave off the Cubs. Cubs are 7 games back, and try and also keep off the Dodgers for that top spot in the National League, top spot in Major League Baseball in terms of standings. So it's going to be a battle, but that's what's coming up here in this game. Logan Henderson, Christian Scott, as the two sides will duel it out. It's going to be a matinee today. So you get the afternoon game, and then your Wednesday night is wide open and free after that. The Brewers have a day off then on Thursday. So they're going to have almost 2 whole days here, day and a half to really kind of rest and recover and get ready for that Rocky series coming up this weekend. So lots to get to with that. We'll be breaking all of it down here on Brewers Daily. So be sure to subscribe and get notified if you have not yet already. Follow me on X as well at dgasper24. Appreciate all of you watching and listening, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.